Looks like she's in pain after that pass. She had been dealing most recently with the groin injury.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, we're diving into a topic that's got the basketball world buzzing, and not in a good way. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's superstar and the WNBA's biggest draw, is out of the 2025 All-Star Game and three-point contest due to a groin injury, and the ripple effects are massive. The incident that sparked this? A controversial play involving Jacy Sheldon of the Connecticut Sun. Some are calling it a cheap shot, others say it's just physical basketball, but one thing's clear. Clark's absence from the All-Star weekend in Indianapolis has sent shockwaves through the league, with millions of fans potentially tuning out. Let's break it all down. What happened, why it's a big deal, and what it means for the WNBA's future. Buckle up, because this is a wild one. Let's start with the moment that changed everything.
Shannon defense by the Sparks fans. 6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three! Oop, that is! She missed her first 7.
It was Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, in the final minute of the Indiana Fever's 85-77 win over the Connecticut Sun in Boston. Caitlin Clark, the Fever's second-year phenom, was driving the ball, doing what she does best, making plays and pushing the pace. She delivered a slick bounce pass to teammate Kelsey Mitchell for a layup with just 39.1 seconds left. But as she made that pass, something went wrong. Clark grabbed her right thigh, visibly in pain, and hobbled to the bench. She banged her head against the stanchion in frustration, draped a towel over her head, and sat out the rest of the game. The diagnosis? A right groin injury, one that would force her to miss not only the Fever's next game against the New York Liberty, but also the entire WNBA All-Star weekend, including the three-point contest and the All-Star Game, where she was set to be a captain. Now, here's where things get heated. Some fans and analysts are pointing fingers at Jacy Sheldon, the Connecticut Sun guard who was defending Clark during that play. Social media, especially posts on X, exploded with claims that Sheldon delivered a cheap shot to Clark, possibly contributing to the injury. One post from Coach Walker went as far as calling it a criminal action and demanded Sheldon be banned from the WNBA. Another user, @OldHeadHoops, referenced an earlier June 17th game where Sheldon hit Clark in the face, suggesting a pattern of overly physical play. But let's be real. There's no definitive evidence that Sheldon's actions directly caused the groin injury. The play in question was intense, sure, but groin injuries often happen from sudden movements or overextension, like during a pass or a cut. Clark herself hasn't publicly blamed Sheldon, and the Fever's official statement only mentioned the injury occurring during the game, not pointing to a specific foul. Still, the narrative around Sheldon's physicality isn't new. The WNBA has been under scrutiny this season for inconsistent officiating, especially when it comes to protecting star players like Clark. A Washington Post article noted that Clark took a knee to the abdomen from Sheldon in that same game, which went uncalled by the refs. This has fueled a broader conversation about whether the league is doing enough to keep its biggest stars safe. Players and coaches, from Becky Hammon to Stephanie White, have voiced frustration over erratic officiating, with Clark often bearing the brunt of aggressive defense. Fever coach Stephanie White even said the level of physicality in the league is at an all-time high, and Clark's had to adjust to being mauled on the court. Whether Sheldon's defense crossed a line or not, the optics aren't great. Clark, the league's golden goose, is sidelined and fans are livid. So why does this injury matter so much? Caitlin Clark isn't just any player. She's the WNBA's biggest ratings draw, a cultural phenomenon who's been driving unprecedented viewership and ticket sales. The 2025 All-Star Game was set to be her moment, her first time captaining a team in her home city of Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The league planned this event with Clark front and center, from a 30-story banner of her on the JW Marriott to her face plastered on Gatorade ads and Eli Lilly billboards. She was supposed to compete in the three-point contest, showcasing her long-range shooting that's made her a fan favorite. Her absence is a gut punch, not just for the Fever, but for the entire WNBA. The numbers tell the story. Clark led all players with a record 1,293,526 fan votes for the All-Star Game, dwarfing Nafisa Collier's 1,176,020. 7 of the 8 most watched WNBA games this season featured the Fever, and viewership is up 9% overall compared to 2024. But here's the kicker. When Clark doesn't play, the numbers take a hit. A Sportico analysis reported a 38% drop in the Fever's social media engagement and an 80% plunge in TikTok views per post when Clark was sidelined earlier this season. Ticket prices for the All-Star Game plummeted 48% on the secondary market after her injury announcement, with StubHub listing get-in prices as low as $65 on game day. Last year's All-Star Game, where Clark and Angel Reese faced off against Team USA, drew 3.44 million viewers, a 139% jump from the previous record. Without Clark, the 2025 game risks falling short of that mark, especially with its new 4-point shot rule that was tailor-made for her long-range game. Let's talk about the All-Star Game itself. Team Clark, captained by Caitlin despite her absence, got smoked by Team Collier 151-131. Nafisa Collier dropped a record 36 points to earn MVP honors, while Skylar Diggins notched the first triple-double in All-Star history with 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 15 assists. It was a high-scoring, low-defense affair, much like recent NBA All-Star games, but the lack of Clark's star power was felt. Her teammates Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell stepped up, and Sabrina Ionescu was a standout with her shooting, but the game lacked the buzz it would have had with Clark on the court. Fans on X, like user Betty Meadows, expressed disappointment but still praised the skills challenge and three-point contest, where Ionescu and Natasha Cloud shone. Clark, ever the team player, was courtside, helping coach alongside Sandy Brondello and even drawing up plays, but her absence left a noticeable void. This injury isn't just a one-game problem. It's a symptom of a bigger issue for Clark and the WNBA. This is her fourth injury this season, a stark contrast to her Iron Woman days at Iowa and her rookie year, where she never missed a game. She's already sat out 11 games, including the Commissioner's Cup final due to 2 quad injuries, a hand issue, and now this groin problem. Her stats, 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, 8.8 assists, but a career-low 36.7% field goal percentage and 27.9% from 3, show she's been grinding through pain. Clark herself admitted to Glamour that this is the first time she hasn't felt like a young body that can just keep going. The mental toll is real too. She's talked about the stress of constant scrutiny and the grind of a packed schedule, relying on sleep and Disney movies like The Parent Trap to decompress. The WNBA's growth is at a critical juncture. A $2.2 billion media rights deal kicks in next year, and the league's expanding to 18 teams by 2030, starting with the Golden State Valkyries. But Clark's injuries highlight a deeper concern: the league's schedule and physical demands. Players like Breanna Stewart have called out the compressed 44-game season, arguing it leaves little room for recovery. The collective bargaining agreement, set to expire on October 31, 2025, is a hot topic, with players wearing "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts during warm-ups to demand better salaries and conditions. Clark's absence from the All-Star Game, coupled with injuries to other stars like Satu Sabali and Aja Wilson, underscores the need for better player protection and rest. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: the millions tuning out angle. It's dramatic, sure, but not entirely off base. Clark's star power drives viewership, and her absence risks dampening the WNBA's momentum. However, the league's depth is showing. Players like Collier, Diggins, and Ionescu stepped up, and non-fever games are still outdrawing the NHL's average viewership. The All-Star Weekend wasn't a total bust. Natasha Cloud won the skills challenge, and Ionescu's 30-point three-point contest performance was electric. But the WNBA can't afford to keep losing Clark to injuries. As Sally Jenkins wrote in the Washington Post, the surest way to kill the league's popularity and halt its commercial momentum is to put its star players in ice packs and traction. Better officiating, smarter scheduling, and maybe even a load management approach could help keep players like Clark on the court. So, what's next? Clark's focusing on recovery, using treatments like red light therapy and hyperbaric chambers, but her status for the Fever's next game against the Liberty on July 22nd is unclear. The team's 12-11 record shows they can compete without her, going 5-5 in her absence, but her presence is what makes them must-watch. For the WNBA, this is a wake-up call. Protect your stars, refine your officiating, and give players room to breathe. Clark's not just a player, she's a movement, and the league needs her healthy to keep pushing women's basketball forward. That's the story, folks. Caitlin Clark's injury, sparked by a tough play and amplified by controversy, has cast a shadow over the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. The league's still got plenty of talent, but Clark's absence stings. What do you think? Was Sheldon's defense too much, or is this just the nature of the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and subscribe for more WNBA coverage. Until next time, stay hoops obsessed and keep the conversation going. Peace out.